January 4th, 2026. Night. I'm running. My phone won't stop vibrating in my pocket. Every buzz feels like a heartbeat I don't control anymore. I turn into a dark street. Breathing hard, I pull out the phone. 17 missed calls, 23 WhatsApp messages, all from the same group. The group I saw on crossover night, but didn't understand what it meant. Until 3 days ago. My hands are shaking as I open it. I tell myself I should just block them, delete the app, throw the phone away, but I can't. Because they have something I said, something I agreed to, and now they own me. The messages scroll up, each one worse than the last. Chinedu, we're waiting. You ate with us in December. You watched with us during AFCON. You crossed over with us into 2026. Now it's time to pay. My stomach twists as I read that last line again. Pay for what? I didn't borrow anything. I didn't sign a contract. I just showed up. But apparently showing up was enough. Then a voice note. I press play. A calm, cold voice fills my ears. You think you can just take and not give back? You think we don't know where you live? Where your mama lives? Where you work? I feel my legs weaken. I didn't give them my address. I didn't tell them about my mother. But somehow they know. I scroll further up. Another message from 2 hours ago. We gave you a good December. We gave you drinks, food, a seat at the table. And this is how you repay us? With silence? I want to type back. I want to explain that I don't have the money, that I'm broke, that my salary still hasn't come in, but my fingers won't move. I whisper to myself, trying to make sense of it. How did I enter the new year owing people I never borrowed from? I lean against a wall, trying to catch my breath, trying to think. This wasn't supposed to happen. I just wanted to enjoy December like everyone else. I just wanted to fit in. Now look at me, hiding in a dark street, running from people I thought were friends. My phone buzzes again, another voice note. I hesitate, my thumb hovers over the play button. Maybe if I don't listen, it'll go away. But I know it won't, so I play it. A woman's voice this time, soft, almost kind. Chinedu, don't make this harder than it needs to be. We don't want trouble. We just want what's fair. You enjoyed, now it's time to settle. Simple. Her tone is so reasonable, so calm, like she's asking me to return a book I borrowed, not threatening to destroy my life. Then she adds, in that same sweet voice, we're outside. I freeze, my heart slams against my ribs. I look up at the street. A car is parked at the corner, headlights off, engine running. I can't see who's inside, but I know they can see me. I take a step back, deeper into the shadow of the building. The car doesn't move. It just sits there, waiting. Let me take you back. December 15th, 2025. Lagos was mad that month. Dirty December was in full swing. Every street corner had music blasting. Every party flyer promised the night of your life. People were wearing their best, spending their last, living like January wasn't coming. Me? I was broke. Not regular broke. The kind of broke where you avoid group chats because you know somebody's planning another hangout you can't afford. The kind where you tell your mom you already ate so she doesn't have to share her small portion with you. The kind where you refresh your bank app 5 times a day, hoping the numbers will magically change. They never did. I worked a contract job that paid late. My December salary still pending. Every time I called the HR woman, she'd say, "It's processing, just wait small." I'd been waiting since November, but everybody around me was shining. My guys were posting pictures at beach clubs, bottles in hand, captions like "God is good" and "We outside." My old classmates were flying to Dubai, posting sunset pictures with hashtags I couldn't even pronounce. Even the barber who usually owed me money pulled up in a new shirt talking about "this December different oh." And me? I was wearing the same 3 shirts on rotation. Hoping nobody noticed, I stopped going out, stopped replying to group chats. I'd see the messages. Beach hangout this Saturday. Link up at the lounge tonight. And I'd just mute the chat. What was I supposed to say? Guys, I'm broke. Number. I said nothing, and the silence ate at me. One evening, my colleague, Femi, saw me sitting alone in the office after everyone left. The office was empty. The cleaners had already gone home. It was just me, my laptop, and the hum of the old air conditioner that barely worked. Femi leaned on my desk, arms crossed, looking at me like I was a puzzle he was trying to solve. "Guy, you're not going anywhere this December?" he asked. I shrugged, not looking up from my screen. Money never drop. He laughed, not a mocking laugh, more like pity. "Chinedu, you can't be like this, oh. This is Lagos. If you don't enjoy, who will enjoy for you? You'll just be here forming saint while everybody is outside living life." I didn't answer. He pulled up a chair and sat down, close, too close. "Look, I know you're waiting for your contract payment, but December doesn't wait for anyone. You think those guys posting pictures on Instagram are waiting for salary? Number, they move, they connect, they find ways." I finally looked at him. "What ways?" He smiled. "That's what I'm trying to tell you. You're too rigid, Guy. You think life is only salary, salary, salary. But there are people out there who can help you. People who know how to move money, how to create opportunities." "Like who?" "Like my guys," he said, leaning back. "I'm telling you, if you follow me, you'll chop this December. I'm not even capping." I wanted to ask more, but something in his tone made me hesitate. He saw it. He always saw it. Why you they look me like that? You think say I they do fraud? No, oh, it's just networking, linking up with the right people. That's all." He tapped my shoulder and stood up. "If you like, stay here and suffer. Me, I don't choose enjoyment." He walked out, leaving me sitting there in the empty office, with the hum of the old air conditioner and the weight of his words pressing on my chest. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, thinking about everything Femi said. What if he was right? What if I was just wasting this December being miserable while everyone else was winning? What if I was the problem? 2 days later, Femi called me. "Guy, I day somewhere. Come meet me." "Where?" "Just come. I get something, we go help you." I should have asked more questions. I should have said no. But I was tired. Tired of being the one left out. Tired of watching everyone else live while I just existed. So I went. I met him at a bar in Ikeja. Not a big bar. Just one of those open-air spots where people sit outside on plastic chairs, drinking cold beer and talking too loud. Femi wasn't alone. There was a guy with him, tall, clean-shaven, wearing a designer shirt that probably cost more than my rent. Gold watch, fresh sneakers, the kind of guy who looked like money. He introduced himself as Sly. Sly smiled at me like we were old friends. "Femi told me about you. You're a smart guy, hardworking. I like that." I didn't know what to say, so I just nodded. He snapped his fingers at the waiter. "Bring 3 bottles, the cold ones." The waiter came back with 3 bottles of Heineken. Expensive, the kind I only saw in music videos. Sly opened one and handed it to me. I took it. My hand was shaking slightly, but I hoped he didn't notice. He leaned back in his chair, looking at me the way a lion looks at prey. Not aggressive, just patient. "You know what your problem is," Sly said, his voice smooth. "You're too careful. You're sitting there waiting for life to happen to you, but life doesn't work like that, my guy. You have to grab it." I sipped the beer. It tasted foreign. Rich, different from the warm lager I usually drank. Sly continued, "I'm organizing something this December. A few events. AFCON watch parties, crossover night, all that. Big things. I need sharp guys like you to help out. Small work. Nothing heavy. And the pay." He grinned. "You'll chop well." "What kind of work?" I asked. He waved his hand dismissively. "Ushering, crowd control. Just stay there, make sure everything runs smooth. That's all." "That's all?" "That's all." I looked at Femi. He nodded, encouraging me. Sly took another sip of his drink. "Look, I don't force anybody. If you're interested, you're in. If not, no wahala. But I'm telling you now, opportunities like this don't come twice." I sat there, the cold bottle in my hand, the noise of the bar around me, and I thought about my empty bank account, my pending salary, my mother asking me for money I didn't have. And I thought, what's the harm? I should have asked more questions. I should have asked what small work really meant. I should have asked why he needed me specifically. I should have asked how Femi even knew him. But I didn't, because he said the magic words, "You'll chop well." And I was tired of being broke. "So wherein you talk?" Sly asked. His eyes locked on mine, not blinking, not moving, just waiting. I hesitated, just for a second. My brain was screaming at me to say no, to thank him and leave, to go back to my quiet, broke, safe life. But my mouth said something else. "I'm in." Sly's smile widened. He raised his glass. "Welcome to the family, Chinedu. You just made the best decision of your life." Femi clapped me on the back, laughing. "I told you. My guy, you go chop this December. Trust me." We clinked glasses, but as the bottles touched, I noticed something. Sly's smile didn't reach his eyes. And in the corner of the bar, there was a woman sitting alone. Old, maybe 60, 70, with a faded wrapper tied around her waist and a tired, weathered face. She was selling roasted plantain from a tray balanced on her lap. She caught my eye and shook her head slowly. Just once. Then she looked away. I frowned. What was that about? But before I could think about it, Sly leaned in close and whispered, his breath warm against my ear. "Our people are powerful, Chinedu. You'll see soon, very soon." A chill ran down my spine, but I forced a smile and nodded. December 28th, 2025. AFCON fever had gripped the city. Nigeria was playing a big knockout match. The streets were empty because everybody, and I mean everybody, was glued to a screen somewhere. Sly called me that morning. "Today's the day, guy. Meet me at the viewing center, 4 p.m. sharp. Don't be late." "Which viewing center?" "I'll text you the address. Just show up." The address he sent was in Surulere. When I got there, I realized this wasn't just any viewing center. This place was packed. Hundreds of people. A giant projector screen mounted on the wall, speakers so loud you could feel the bass vibrating in your chest. People were dressed up like they were going to a club, not watching football. And the bets? People were shouting out amounts that made my head spin. 20,000 on Nigeria to win. 50,000 on Osimhen to score first. I put 100K on over 2.5 goals. I stood at the entrance overwhelmed, until Sly appeared out of the crowd and grabbed my arm. "You came. Good. Come, let me show you your people." He led me through the crowd to a corner where a group of men sat. They all had this presence. You know the type, the kind of men who don't raise their voices but everyone listens when they talk. The kind who wear simple clothes, but you just know they have money. One of them, a big man with a thick gold chain and a stomach that pressed against his shirt, looked up at me. "This one?" he asked Sly, his voice deep and slow. "Yeah, sharp guy, clean record. No trouble." The big man studied me for a moment, his eyes narrowing slightly. Then he nodded. "Sit." I sat. He reached into his pocket, pulled out a wad of cash held together by a rubber band, and peeled off 5 crisp 1,000 naira notes. He handed them to me. "Buy something, drink, eat, enjoy yourself. Today your family." I stared at the money in my hand. I hadn't seen 5,000 naira in weeks. Thank you, sir." He laughed, a deep, booming laugh that made his whole body shake. "Sir? I'm not your boss, boy. My name is Chief. We're all family here. You eat, I eat. You win, I win. You lose, I lose. That's how we move." I took the money, my hands trembling slightly. Sly leaned close and whispered, "See, I told you. These are my people. And now they're your people too." I wanted to ask who they were, what they did, why they were being so generous to a stranger. But the match was about to start, and the entire place exploded into noise, chants, drums, vuvuzelas. "Niger, Niger, Niger." I sat there, clutching the 5,000 naira in my hand, and for the first time in weeks, I felt like I belonged somewhere. Nigeria scored in the 30th minute. The place went absolutely insane. People were jumping, screaming, hugging strangers. Someone poured champagne on the ground like a libation. Another man fell to his knees, hands raised to the sky, shouting, "Thank you, Jesus." The big man, Chief, stood up. raised his hands high, and shouted over the noise, "As we win today, we win in 2026. As this goal enters, money enters our lives. We are blessed. We are covered. Nothing can stop us." Everyone around him repeated it. "We are blessed. We are covered. Nothing can stop us." The chant spread through the entire viewing center like a wave. I felt the energy pulling me in. The noise, the joy, the unity, the sense of being part of something bigger than myself. It felt good, really good. And then Sly nudged me, his voice low but firm. "Say it, guy. Agree with them. Say it." I looked around. Everyone was chanting. Everyone was unified. What harm could it do? So I joined in. "We are blessed. We are covered." My voice was quiet at first, uncertain, but Sly nudged me again. "Louder. Mean it." So I said it louder. "We are blessed. We are covered." Chief looked at me and grinned. He clapped me on the shoulder, his hand heavy and warm. "That's it. You're learning." I smiled back, but later, as I sat down with my drink, still buzzing from the energy of the crowd, I noticed something. The old woman from the bar. She was standing at the edge of the viewing center, selling groundnuts from a tray balanced on her head. She looked at me again, her face expressionless, and then she spoke, quietly, but I heard her. "A trap is sweetest before it closes." I frowned. "What?" She didn't repeat herself, she just moved on, calling out to other customers in a tired sing-song voice, "Groundnut, fresh groundnut." I shook my head and turned back to the screen. Probably just some random old woman, I told myself, nothing to worry about. The match ended, Nigeria won 2-1. The place stayed loud for another hour, drinking, dancing, celebrating like the victory was personal, like we'd all scored the goals ourselves. Chief bought another round of drinks for everyone in our corner. Expensive whiskey, the kind with names I couldn't pronounce. He poured me a glass, handed it to me, and said, "You see this? This is how winners move. We celebrate together, we suffer together, we win together. One family, one vision." I nodded, sipping the whiskey. It burned my throat, but I didn't let it show. Then Sly pulled me aside, away from the noise. "Chinedu, you did well today. My people like you, Chief especially." "I didn't really do anything," I said. He smiled. "You showed up. You agreed, you joined the chant. That's all we needed." "Agreed to what?" He didn't answer directly. Instead, he said, "We're having an after-party. Crossover night, December 31st. Big thing. Bigger than this. You're coming." It wasn't a question. It was a statement. "Where?" I asked. "I'll send you the address. Just make sure you come, and bring your ID." "Why do I need my ID?" Sly's smile tightened, just a fraction. "For registration. Prayer list. You want to start 2026 blessed, right? Covered?" I nodded slowly. He patted my shoulder. "Good. See you there." As he walked away, I stood there, the noise of the celebration fading into the background. Something felt off, but I couldn't put my finger on what. As I left the viewing center that night, I felt strange. I couldn't explain it. Everything had gone well. I had money in my pocket for the first time in weeks. People had been nice to me. I was invited to a crossover party. I should have felt good, but I didn't. I felt watched. I passed by the old woman on my way out. She was packing up her tray of groundnuts, tying them in small plastic bags. She looked at me one more time and said, loud enough for me to hear, "The masquerade that follows you home is the one you danced with in the market." I stopped, turned around. "What does that mean?" She tied her wrapper tighter around her waist and started walking away. Her back bent under the weight of her tray. "Wait," I called after her. "What are you talking about?" She didn't stop, didn't turn around, just kept walking, disappearing into the crowd. I stood there for a moment, watching her go, her words echoing in my head. Then I shook my head and kept walking. Probably just superstition, I told myself. Old people and their proverbs, nothing to worry about. But as I turned the corner, I saw him, a man standing under a streetlight. He was wearing an old, faded Super Eagles jersey, the kind from the 1994 World Cup. Torn at the sleeves, stained, he was staring directly at me, not blinking, not moving, just watching. I stopped, our eyes met, and for a moment I swear I saw him smile. Then a bus passed between us, blocking my view. When it moved, he was gone. I stood there, my heart pounding, looking around. But the street was empty. December 31st, 2025, 11 p.m. The address Sly sent me led to a house in Lekki. Big gate, high walls, security lights everywhere. Music thumping from inside, loud, hypnotic, relentless. When I got to the gate, a bouncer stopped me. Big guy, arms like tree trunks, face like stone. Name? Chinedu Okafor. He checked a list on his phone, scrolling slowly. Then he nodded. Phone. What? Your phone. Hand it over. I hesitated. Why? No phones inside, house rules, privacy. But you want enter or not? I looked past him. I could see people inside, dancing, laughing, living. I could hear the countdown getting closer. 30 minutes to midnight. Everyone I knew was at some party somewhere. Everyone except me. And now I had a chance to be part of something. To not be alone on New Year's Eve. I handed him my phone. He gave me a small laminated tag with a number on it. Number 47. You'll get it back when you leave. I walked in, my stomach tight, my palms sweating. Inside, the party was intense. People everywhere, dressed to kill, bottles of champagne on every table, a DJ on a raised platform spinning loud, hypnotic music that made your chest vibrate. But there was something strange about it. Everyone seemed too happy, too eager, like they were performing joy instead of feeling it, like they were trying to convince themselves they were having a good time. I stood near the entrance, unsure where to go. When Sly found me, "You made it. Come, let's get you registered." Registered? Yeah, for the prayer list. I told you, remember? He led me through the crowd to a side room. Inside, a woman sat behind a table with a large notebook. She looked up at me, smiled, a practiced professional smile, and then said, "Full name? Chinedu Okafor." She wrote it down in neat handwriting. "Date of birth?" I told her. "Mother's maiden name?" I paused. "Why do you need that?" She looked up at me for the first time, her eyes sharp. "For the prayer. We pray specific blessings over you and your bloodline. It's how we do it here." Generational coverage. Sly put a hand on my shoulder, squeezing gently. "Just answer, guy. It's not deep. Everybody does it." I hesitated, but everyone was looking at me, waiting. So I told her. "Nkiru." She wrote it down, then smiled again. "Address?" "Why? So we can send you your blessing certificate. Everyone gets one." I gave her my address. She closed the notebook, looked me in the eyes, and said, "Welcome to the family, Chinedu. You're going to have a blessed 2026. Something about the way she said it made my skin crawl, but I forced a smile. "Thank you." At midnight, the place erupted. Fireworks outside, champagne bottles popping, people screaming Happy New Year like their lives depended on it. I found myself swept into the celebration, passed from person to person, hugging strangers, shouting along with the countdown. 10, 9, 8. The energy was electric, overwhelming. 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. Confetti rained down from the ceiling, balloons dropped. The DJ switched to a gospel song, one of those high-energy praise songs that gets everyone jumping, and then Sly pulled me into a circle. It was the same men from the viewing center, Chief, the others, all standing in a tight circle, holding hands. Chief raised his voice over the noise. "We made it. 2026 is ours. Everything we touch, blessed. Everyone we know, covered. Our families, protected. Our businesses, flourishing." We all echoed him. Blessed, covered, protected, flourishing. Then he said something that made my stomach turn. "Now repeat after me. Say, I agree." "I agree." Say, "I'm in." "I'm in." Say, "Whatever it takes, I'll do it." "Whatever it takes, I'll do it." Say, "I'm committed." "I'm committed." Say, "We are one family." "We are one family." Everyone cheered, loud, joyful, unified. I was saying the words, caught up in the moment, in the energy, in the feeling of belonging. But somewhere in the back of my mind, a small voice was screaming, "This isn't right." But I ignored it, because it felt too good to stop. Around 1 a.m., people started leaving. I went to the gate to collect my phone from the bouncer. He handed it back without a word. I turned it on, 12 notifications, all from a WhatsApp group I'd never seen before, the group name 2026 Winners Circle. I opened it. There were over 50 people in the group. I recognized some faces from the party, from the viewing center. The first message was from Sly, posted at 12:05 a.m. "Welcome everyone, you crossed over with us. Now we move together. Instructions coming soon. Stay blessed." I stared at the screen, confused. When did I join this group? I scrolled up. There was a pinned message at the top. It was a voice recording. I pressed play, and I heard my own voice. "I agree. I'm in. Whatever it takes, I'll do it. I'm committed. We are one family." My blood ran cold. That was me. At midnight, in the circle. They'd recorded it. Sly appeared beside me, grinning wide. "Surprise. You're one of us now." I tried to laugh it off. "What does that mean?" His grin didn't fade, but his voice dropped low. "It means you're family, Chinedu. And family takes care of each other, always." He walked away, leaving me standing there with my phone in my hand, the voice recording still playing on loop in my head. January 1st, 2026. Morning. I woke up with a pounding headache and a bad feeling I couldn't shake. My phone was buzzing. My mom. "Chinedu, you're going to church today, Abi? New Year service?" I wasn't planning to, but something in her voice made me say yes. "Yes, Mama, I'll go." At church, the place was packed. Everyone was dressed in white, thanking God for the new year, praying for blessings and breakthroughs and fresh starts. I sat in the back, barely listening to the sermon. My mind was elsewhere, on that voice recording, on the WhatsApp group, on the feeling that I'd stepped into something I didn't understand. Then, during the offering, a woman walked up to me. She was one of the church workers. A protocol officer, they called her, always smiling, always helpful, always wearing bright matching church uniforms. "Happy New Year, Brother Chinedu," she said, her voice way too cheerful. "Happy New Year," I muttered. She sat down next to me, uninvited, and leaned in close, too close. "You crossed over well, right? I saw you." My heart stopped. "What?" She smiled wider, like we were sharing a secret. "At the party. Sly's party. You were with them." I felt my palms start to sweat. You were there?" She nodded, still smiling. "Yes-o, I go every year. Best way to start the year. Covered, blessed, protected." She said it like it was the most normal thing in the world. I didn't know what to say. She pulled out her phone and showed me a flyer. "There's a special Thanksgiving service. January 3rd, just for people like us. People who are serious about their breakthrough, people who want to maintain the covering." "I don't." "It's by invitation only," she interrupted, her tone firm now. "But I'm inviting you. Sly will be there too. Chief will be there, all the family." She handed me a card with an address printed on it. I looked at it. It was the same address, the same house in Lekki. My stomach turned. I knew then. This woman wasn't acting for the church. This was something else entirely. She leaned in one more time, her voice dropping to a whisper, "Bring your seed offering. Not small o, something substantial. And don't tell anyone outside the family. You understand? Some blessings are too big to share." She stood up, smoothed her skirt, and walked away, leaving me sitting there with the card in my hand and a cold knot forming in my chest. I sat through the rest of the service in a fog. When I got home, I looked at the card again. Then I opened the WhatsApp group. There was a new message from Sly. "Special instruction. Those who attended crossover, check your DMs. Your next step is ready." I checked my DMS. There was a message from an unknown number, a voice note. I played it. It was the church woman's voice, and she said, word for word, the exact same thing she'd told me in church. "Bring your seed offering. Not small o, something substantial. And don't tell anyone outside the family. Some blessings are too big to share." My hand started shaking. How did they record that? When? Why did she repeat the exact same script? I scrolled back to the pinned message in the group chat, the one with my voice. I played it again. I agree, I'm in. Whatever it takes, I'll do it. I'm committed. We are one family. I remembered now, the circle, Chief leading us, telling us to repeat after him. I'd said those words because everyone else was saying them, because it felt like celebration, like prayer, like unity. But they'd recorded it, and now they had it. Clear as day. I tried to leave the group. I clicked the exit group button. I left, but 5 minutes later I was added back. By Sly, I left again, added back again. Then a new message appeared. Payment instructions coming January 3rd. Be ready, be faithful, be blessed. I stared at the word payment. Payment for what? I typed a message. What payment? I waited. 3 dots appeared. Someone was typing. Then the dots disappeared. No reply. I tried again. I didn't agree to pay anything. Still no reply, but I could see that the message had been read by 15 people, and no one said anything. January 2nd, 2026. Morning. I woke up to chaos. 5 missed calls from my landlord. My rent was due. I'd promised to pay on January 2nd, but my contract payment still hadn't come through. I called the HR woman again. Please, I'm begging you. When is the money coming? We're still processing it. Maybe next week. Next week? You said that last month. She hung up. I sat on my bed staring at my phone, feeling the walls close in. Then my mother called. Chinedu, I need to buy my medicine. Can you send me something? I wanted to cry. Mama, I'm waiting for my salary. As soon as it comes. Okay, my son, no problem. Just try. She hung up. I buried my face in my hands. Then the WhatsApp group came alive. Message after message. Happy New Year, family. Time to settle accounts. Everyone who enjoyed December, time to contribute. No free rides. We all ate. Now we all pay. That's how family works. I stared at my phone, my chest tightening. Contribute? Pay? For what? I scrolled through the messages, trying to make sense of it. Then a DM from Sly appeared. Chinedu, your share is 50,000 naira. Deadline January 5th. 50,000? I typed back immediately, my fingers shaking. What is this for? I didn't borrow anything. His response came fast. You ate with us. You drank with us. You crossed over with us. You agreed. Now you pay. Simple. My heart was pounding. Sly, I don't have 50,000 naira. My salary never came in. I'm broke. 3 dots, typing. Then, that's not my problem. You should have thought about that before you joined us. I didn't know I was joining anything. You agreed. We have proof. I stared at the screen, my hands trembling. What proof? He sent me the pinned voice note again. My own voice. I agree. I'm in. Whatever it takes, I'll do it. I'm committed. I felt sick. I was just chanting with everyone else. I didn't know. A promise is a promise, Chinedu. Doesn't matter if you were drunk, high, or sober. You said it. We recorded it. Now you pay. I wanted to scream, I don't have the money. Find it. How? That's your problem. Borrow, beg, sell something. I don't care. But you will pay. I tried to think, tried to breathe. What happens if I don't? 3 dots. Typing. Then, we'll post you. My stomach dropped. Post me where? Everywhere. Your voice, your agreement, your name, your mother's name, your address. We'll make sure everyone knows you're a debtor, a liar, a man who takes and doesn't give back. I felt like I was drowning. You can't do that. Try us. Then another message, and just so you know, we're not bluffing. Ask Amika. He refused to pay last year. Now his whole family knows what he did. His church knows. His workplace knows. He lost everything. I didn't know who Emeka was, but the threat was clear. I put my phone down and buried my face in my hands. How did I get here? January 3rd. Afternoon. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, couldn't think straight. I tried calling Femi, no answer. I called again, still nothing. I sent him a message. Guy, I need to talk. This Sly guy is threatening me. Read. No reply. I left the WhatsApp group again. Within minutes, I was added back. So I blocked Sly's number. 5 minutes later, a new number messaged me. "You can't run from family, Chinedu." I blocked that number too. Another one appeared. "We know where you live." Then another, "We know where your mother lives." I threw my phone across the room. It hit the wall and clattered to the floor. I sat there, breathing hard, my mind racing. What do I do? What do I do? I picked up my phone. The screen was cracked, but it still worked. It rang. Unknown number. I answered, my voice shaking. "Who is this?" It was Chief, the big man from the viewing center. His voice was calm, almost fatherly. "Chinedu, my boy, I hear you're having trouble with your payment." "I don't have the money," I said, my voice breaking. "I understand, my boy. January is hard. Everybody is suffering. But you see, we run on trust here. We gave you food. We gave you drinks. We welcomed you into our circle. And now you want to break that trust? I didn't know there was a payment. You said you agreed. We have your voice. Clear. No distortion. You think we're playing games?" I said nothing. He sighed like he was disappointed in me. "Listen, I like you. I really do. You seem like a good boy. I don't want trouble. But if you don't pay, we have no choice. Your name, your mother's name, your face, your address, everything goes online. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp groups, church groups. We'll make sure everyone sees it. We'll tell them you're a scammer, a thief, a man who eats other people's food and runs away." His voice was so calm, so reasonable, like he was giving me advice, not threatening to destroy me. "I'm giving you one more day," he said. "January 4th, final deadline. After that," he paused, "after that we move. And when we move, we don't stop." He hung up. I sat there staring at the wall, feeling like the room was spinning. That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, playing the voice note over and over in my head. "I agree, I'm in. Whatever it takes, I'll do it. I'm committed." I thought back to that moment. The circle, the chanting, Chief leading us. "Repeat after me." And we'd all repeated, all of us. It felt like prayer, like celebration, like family. But it was a trap. Every step had been planned. The viewing center, the free drinks, the chanting, the agreement, the crossover party, the registration, my name, my birthday, my mother's maiden name, my address. "For the prayer list," they'd said. But there was no prayer list, only this trap. I remembered the old woman, her warnings. A trap is sweetest before it closes. The masquerade that follows you home is the one you danced with in the market. She'd tried to tell me, but I didn't listen. I was too desperate, too lonely, too eager to belong. And now I was paying for it. I stared at my phone, my chest tight. My hands shaking. January 4th, tomorrow, 1 day left. Then a new message came in, not from Sly, not from Chief, from the churchwoman. "Chinedu, I'm praying for you. But remember, God helps those who help themselves. Pay what you owe. It's the only way to keep your covering. Don't lose your blessings over stubbornness." I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw my phone against the wall again, but instead I just sat there, staring at the ceiling, feeling the weight of everything crushing me. Then, at 11:47 p.m., another message. From Sly, "We're coming to see you tomorrow night. Let's settle this face to face. Don't run. You can't hide. We know everywhere you go." January 4th, 2026. Night. I ran. I didn't pack anything, didn't plan where I was going. I just ran. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing in my pocket. Every vibration felt like a countdown, like my time was running out. I turned down street after street, my chest burning, my legs heavy, my mind blank with fear. And then I saw her. The old woman. She was sitting on a low wooden stool outside a closed shop. Her faded wrapper tied around her waist. Her tray of groundnuts resting on the ground beside her. She looked up at me as I stumbled to a stop, gasping for air. "You finally ready to listen?" she asked, her voice quiet but steady. I bent over, hands on my knees, trying to catch my breath. "Who are you?" I managed to say between gasps. She smiled, a sad, knowing smile. "I'm nobody. Just an old woman who's seen this story too many times." "What story?" The story of young men who say yes to everything because they're tired of being left out. The story of traps dressed as blessings. I felt tears burning my eyes. How do I get out? She stood up slowly, her joints creaking, and stepped closer. You remember what I told you? She asked. A trap is sweetest before it closes. And the masquerade that follows you home is the one you danced with in the market. I nodded, wiping my eyes with the back of my hand. The trap works because of secrecy, she said, her voice firm now. They make you feel ashamed, afraid, alone. They make you think you're the only one, that if you tell anyone, you'll be exposed, humiliated, destroyed. But I am alone, I said, my voice breaking. They have my voice. My mother's name, my address. If I don't pay... And if you pay, she interrupted, you think it ends there? You think they'll leave you alone after 50,000? No, my son. They'll come back. Next month, the month after, again and again, until you have nothing left, until you're drowning. She was right. I knew she was right. So what do? I asked, my voice barely a whisper. She placed a hand on my shoulder. Her hand was small, rough, warm. Break the secrecy. Tell someone, your family, the police, a pastor you trust, not one of the church workers in their pocket, but a real one. Someone who knows you. Expose them. Once the light hits them, they lose their power. But they'll destroy me. They'll try, she said, but they can't destroy what's already exposed. If you bring it into the light yourself, if you tell the truth first, their threats become empty. You understand? I nodded slowly. She squeezed my shoulder. Go home. Call your mother. Tell her everything, then call the police. Don't do this alone. The moment you stop carrying their secrets, you stop being their prisoner. She turned to leave, then stopped and looked back at me one last time. And Chinedu? Yes. Remember, you thought you were crossing over into blessings, but you were crossing into bondage. The way out is the same way in, through truth. She picked up her tray and walked away, disappearing into the shadows. I stood there for a moment, her words sinking in. Then I took a deep breath, and I went home. I sat on my bed, staring at my phone for what felt like an eternity. My hands were shaking, my chest was tight, but I knew what I had to do. I called my mother. Chinedu, why are you calling so late? Are you okay? Mama, I need to tell you something, and I need you to listen. Please. I told her everything. The bar, Femi, Sly, the viewing center, the drinks, the chanting, the crossover party, the registration, the voice recording, the WhatsApp group, the threats, all of it. I didn't hold anything back. When I finished, she was silent for a long time. I could hear her breathing on the other end of the line. Then she said, her voice steady, "Where are you?" "At home." "Stay there. Don't go anywhere. I'm calling your uncle. He knows police people. We're coming, right now." "Mama, they said they're coming tonight." "Let them come," she said, her voice fierce. "You're not alone anymore. Do you hear me? You're not alone." I felt tears streaming down my face. "Yes, Mama." Within an hour, my uncle arrived. He brought 2 police officers with him, and Pastor Williams came too. An old man from my childhood church. The one who used to visit our house when my father was alive. The one I trusted. We sat in my small room, and I showed them everything. The WhatsApp group, the voice recording, the messages, the threats, all of it. Pastor Williams shook his head slowly. "This is not spiritual, my son. This is crime, extortion, blackmail. We're going to the police station, tonight." One of the officers took my phone, scrolling through the messages, his face hard. "We've been tracking this group for months," he said quietly. "You're not the first. You won't be the last. But now we have evidence, real evidence, names, voices, messages." Then, at exactly 11:30 p.m., there was a knock on my door. Loud, aggressive. "Chinedu, open the door. We know you're inside." My stomach dropped, but my uncle stood up, his face calm. "Let me handle this." He opened the door. Sly was standing there. Chief was behind him. 2 other men I didn't recognize. When Sly saw my uncle and the 2 police officers standing behind him, his face changed. The confidence drained from his eyes. The smile disappeared. "Chinedu, what is this?" he asked, his voice tight. "It's over," I said, stepping forward. "I'm not paying, and I'm not afraid anymore." Chief tried to speak, his voice still trying to sound reasonable. "We're just here to talk, man to man. We can settle this." "Talk?" one of the officers interrupted. "Or threaten? Because we have all the messages, all the recordings, all the evidence." Sly's jaw clenched. The officers asked for their phones. At first, they refused, but when the officers threatened to arrest them on the spot, they handed them over. The officers found everything: the group chat, the voice recordings, the registration lists with names, addresses, phone numbers, mothers' maiden names, bank account details, evidence of dozens, maybe hundreds, of people trapped the same way I was. People who'd paid, people who were still paying, people who'd been too afraid to speak up. Sly tried to run. He didn't get far. My uncle grabbed him by the arm and held him until the officers handcuffed him. As they led him and Chief away, Sly looked back at me one last time. His eyes were cold, hard. "You'll regret this," he said. I didn't answer. I just stood there, watching them go. Free. The trap had been real. The threats had been real. But I'd broken it. Not with money, not with fear, but with truth. I looked at my phone one last time. The WhatsApp group was gone. Deleted by the admin before they were arrested. I uninstalled the app entirely. Then I called my mother back. "It's over, Mama," she cried. So did I. I stood outside my house, looking up at the sky, and I thought about everything, about how desperate I'd been to fit in, to enjoy December like everyone else, to not be left out, and how that desperation had almost destroyed me. I thought about the old woman's words. A trap is sweetest before it closes. She was right. It had been sweet. The drinks, the money, the feeling of belonging, the chance, the celebration. It had felt like a blessing. But it was bondage all along, and the only way out was to stop keeping their secrets, to step into the light, to tell the truth. I whispered to myself, the words heavy but true. I thought I was crossing over into blessings, but I was crossing into bondage.